Hey there, ghost hunters and thrill seekers. You know I love a good scare, but even I get the heebie-jeebies sometimes. And today, we're diving headfirst into the spooky world of the most dangerous ghosts and female demons from around the globe. We're talking USA, Japan, you name it. We're going on a world tour of terror, folks, and trust me, you'll want to take notes. This isn't your average Halloween costume party. These are the real deals, the legends that keep people up at night. So, whether you're planning a ghost hunting trip, or just want to avoid an awkward encounter with a supernatural being, this is your guide to surviving the top 11 ghosts and demons. Buckle up, because it's going to be a wild ride. And remember, if you see any of these ghosts or demons, don't say I didn't warn you. You might want to leave a light on tonight. Or maybe 10. Alright folks, our first spooky stop takes us south of the border for a story that's seriously sad. I'm talking about La Llorona, the Weeping Woman. This ghost story has been told for ages in Mexico and the southwestern United States. The story goes that La Llorona was a beautiful woman who, feeling super sad and desperate, drowned her own kids in a river. Can you even imagine how awful that would be? Well, now she's stuck paying the price, wandering around forever looking for her lost children. But get this, La Llorona isn't just crying a lot, she's haunting rivers and lakes. So if you're near any water, like a river, a lake, even a swimming pool, you just never know. And you hear a creepy cry of, "Ay, mis hijos." That means, "Oh my children." If you don't speak Spanish, be careful, because if you suddenly feel cold, that's not just the weather changing, my friend, that's La Llorona, and she might think you're one of her kids. Gap 2S. And believe me, you don't want to get mixed up in her ghostly sadness. So, how do you avoid becoming La Llorona's next victim? Well, for starters, maybe skip the midnight swims. Seriously, why tempt fate, right? And if you do hear her cries, whatever you do, don't try to comfort her. I know, it sounds harsh. But La Llorona isn't looking for a shoulder to cry on. She's looking for souls to drag down with her. And nobody wants to be a part of that afterlife plan. Your best bet? Hightail it out of there. Run like you stole something, and I don't mean a quick jog, I'm talking Usain Bolt speed. Get to higher ground, find a well-lit area, basically. Do the opposite of what horror movies teach you. And hey, if you happen to have some noise-canceling headphones handy, pop those bad boys in. Because ignorance, in this case, might just be bliss. Next up, we're going global, because this next ghost has frequent flyer miles on the Afterlife Express. We're talking about the White Lady, and she's got more sightings than a Kardashian on vacation. From lonely roadsides in the USA to abandoned buildings in the Philippines, all the way to spooky castles in Germany, the White Lady is everywhere, and she's always dressed to impress, or at least to depress. You'll know her by her long flowing white gown. Dry cleaning must be a nightmare in the afterlife, and her tendency to hitchhike or just stand there looking forlorn. But don't let her sad girl act fool you, this ghost is bad news. They say encountering the White Lady brings a wave of overwhelming sadness, dread, even despair. It's like a soul-sucking dementor, but with better fashion sense. So, how do you avoid a close encounter of the ghostly kind with the White Lady? Well, for starters, be careful who you pick up when you're driving late at night. And no, I'm not talking about Tinder dates gone wrong. I'm talking about spectral hitchhikers. If you see a lone figure in white by the side of the road, especially if it's a woman, just keep on driving. And whatever you do, don't make eye contact. They say the eyes are the window to the soul, and you don't want to give this ghost a peek into yours. You might hear disembodied sobs or feel a chill run down your spine, but don't look back. Just crank up the radio, put on your happy playlist, you know, the one with all the ABBA, and drive like your life depends on it, because when it comes to the White Lady, it just might. So, you're strolling down a dimly lit street in Japan, late for a karaoke session? Because really, who isn't always late for karaoke? Suddenly, You spot a woman in a surgical mask. Now that's not so unusual these days, right? But trust me, you're gonna want to keep walking. This is no ordinary masked maven. This, my friends, is Kuchisake Onna, the slit-mouthed woman. And let's just say she's got a smile that could launch 1,000 ships of terror. See, Kuchisake Onna is known for asking one bone-chilling question: am I beautiful? Now you might think, easy peasy, just say yes and sashay away. Oh honey, if only it were that simple. You see, whether you answer yes or no, she's going to reveal her gruesome secret, a mouth sliced ear to ear like a permanent Joker grin gone wrong. And trust me, you don't want to be around for the grand unveiling. This is one makeover you definitely want to miss. So how do you escape the wrath of the slit-mouthed woman? Well, that's what we're about to find out. Legend has it that Kuchisake Onna is a sucker for confusion. Who isn't, right? So, when she asks, am I beautiful? Your best bet is to channel your inner politician and answer with something totally ambiguous. Think along the lines of, well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, or, I'm more of a personality person myself. Throw in a dramatic hair flip for good measure. While she's busy processing that word salad, make like a banana and split. Now, if you're feeling extra generous or extra terrified, rumor has it that Kuchisake Onna has a bit of a sweet tooth. Specifically, she's a sucker for hard candy. So maybe try tossing her a Werther's Original and yelling, catch! It's a long shot, but hey, desperate times call for desperate measures. Just remember, if you're ever approached by a masked woman in Japan, maybe skip the small talk and just offer her a Jolly Rancher. Just to be safe. Okay, folks, buckle up because we're about to dive into some ancient Mesopotamian mythology with Lilith. Now, Lilith isn't your average run-of-the-mill ghost. She's more like the original bad girl. We're talking pre-Cleopatra, pre-Helen of Troy, even predating those sassy Sumerian goddesses you learned about in history class. Lilith is often depicted as a beautiful woman, but don't let that fool you. This lady is trouble with a capital T. See, Lilith is all about seduction and temptation. She's like the original femme fatale, but instead of a smoky eye and a red dress, she might just lure you in with promises of forbidden knowledge and, well, let's just say otherworldly experiences. And trust me, you don't want to be on the receiving end of those. Lilith is often associated with chaos, death, and things that go bump in the night. She's basically the queen of all things spooky. So, how do you protect yourself from a supernatural temptress like Lilith? Well, let's just say it's not as easy as carrying a vial of holy water or wearing a garlic necklace. Lilith is old school, which means you gotta fight fire with fire, or in this case, ancient magic with ancient magic. We're talking amulets, talismans, and inscriptions of protective prayers dating back centuries. Think of it like a cosmic game of rock, paper, scissors, but instead of throwing hand gestures, you're wielding ancient symbols and chanting incantations. Now, I'm not saying you need to become a full-fledged sorcerer or anything, but hey, it couldn't hurt to brush up on your ancient Sumerian and maybe invest in some protective jewelry, just in case. Remember, when it comes to Lilith, it's better to be safe than sorry. Alright folks, pack your bags because we're heading to the lush jungles of Indonesia and Malaysia to meet the Pontianak, also known as the Kuntilanak. Now this ghostly gal is known for her striking beauty. I'm talking long, flowing black hair, piercing eyes, and a stunning white dress. Sounds lovely, right? Well, here's the catch. She also happens to be a vengeful spirit with a taste for blood. And did I mention the horrifying hole in her back? But here's the thing about the Pontianak. She's not exactly subtle. In fact, she likes to announce her presence with a distinct aroma. No, not sulfur or rotting flesh. We're talking about the sweet scent of frangipani flowers. Now, I know what you're thinking. How bad can a ghost that smells like flowers really be? Well, let's just say you don't want to be around to find out. That sweet floral scent? Consider it a big, flashing neon sign that screams, "Danger! Ghost ahead!" So you're wandering through the jungle and suddenly the air fills with the intoxicating scent of frangipani. What do? Well, first of all, don't panic. Remember, we're all about empowering ourselves here. The Pontianak might be a powerful spirit, but she's not invincible. Legend has it that she has a particular weakness, nails. Yes, you heard that right. Ordinary, everyday nails. Apparently, if you can manage to hammer a nail into the nape of her neck, you can trap the Pontianak and prevent her from causing any more harm. Now, I'm not saying you should go around hammering nails into every beautiful woman you encounter in the jungle, but hey, if you find yourself face to face with a vengeful spirit with a penchant for frangipani, it might be worth a shot. Just saying. And remember, always carry a hammer and nails when exploring the jungles of Southeast Asia. You know, just in case. Hey y'all, welcome back to my survival guide. This time we're heading south to the heart of Tennessee. And no, I ain't talking about Dollywood. We're talking about the Bell Witch, and trust me, this ain't no Dolly Parton. Back in the 1800s, John Bell's farm got real strange. Furniture moved on its own, and the family heard voices. An old woman's voice, whispering threats. She mocked them, even sang off key. They tried everything, but she stayed. Now, legend has it that this Bell Witch had a particular dislike for John Bell. She'd call him out by name, make threats against him, and generally make his life a living nightmare. I mean, talk about holding a grudge. One day, John Bell was found dead on his porch. The cause of death? Well, some say it was a stroke, but others believe the Bell Witch finally got her revenge. And get this, next to his body, they found a strange vial of liquid. Some say it was poison, placed there by the witch herself. Spooky, right? Now, after John's death, the Bell Witch, she kinda calmed down. Some say she moved on to the afterlife, finally at peace. Others believe she's still out there, lurking in the shadows, just waiting for her next victim. So, if you ever find yourself in Tennessee and you hear a voice calling your name, don't answer. It might just be the Bell Witch, and trust me, you don't want to get on her bad side. She's got a voice that could curdle milk and a temper to match. Alright folks, buckle up because we're heading to Japan now, a land of beautiful cherry blossoms and delicious sushi. Meet Hanya, a no-theater mask come to life. She's the embodiment of jealousy and rage. Legend has it she was once a beautiful woman, deeply in love. Consumed by jealousy and anger, she transformed into the terrifying creature we know today. And trust me, you don't want to be around when she lets out one of her blood-curdling screams. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I avoid running into this jealous demon? Well, for starters, try not to break any hearts in Japan. Just kidding. But seriously, Hanya serves as a reminder to keep our emotions in check. You see, Hanya represents the dangers of unchecked anger and jealousy. She's a cautionary tale, reminding us that these emotions can consume us, turning us into something we're not. So next time you feel that green-eyed monster rearing its ugly head, take a deep breath, count to 10, and remember, you don't want to end up like Hanya. Now, if you do happen to find yourself face-to-face with Hanya, don't panic. Legend has it that she can be appeased through acts of kindness and compassion. So try offering her a cup of tea, maybe a plate of cookies, and tell her a joke or two. Who knows? You might just make a new friend. Just, maybe keep your distance. Those teeth look sharp. Alright everyone, gather round because it's time for a spooky story. And no, I'm not talking about that time I tried to make a pie and it caught fire. This is about Bloody Mary, the queen of bathroom mirrors and childhood nightmares. Now we've all heard the stories. Turn off the lights, light a candle, and say Bloody Mary 3 times in the mirror. But be warned, because legend has it that if you're brave enough or foolish enough to try it, Bloody Mary herself will appear. But who is Bloody Mary? Well, the stories vary. Some say she's the ghost of a woman who died in a tragic accident, her spirit forever trapped within the mirror. Others believe she's a vengeful spirit, seeking revenge on those who dare to summon her. And what happens when she appears? Well, let's just say it's not a pretty sight. Imagine a woman with a blood-soaked gown, her face pale and gaunt, her eyes burning with rage. Some say she'll scratch your eyes out. Others say she'll drag you into the mirror with her, trapping you in her world of darkness for all eternity. Yikes. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd rather not risk a close encounter with Bloody Mary. Luckily, there are a few things you can do to protect yourself. First of all, maybe just avoid saying Bloody Mary in the mirror altogether. It's not like she's going to pop out if you're complimenting your new haircut, right? But if you do happen to find yourself face to face with this spooky specter, don't panic. Legend has it that you can break the spell by turning on the lights, blowing out the candle, or simply leaving the room. And hey, if all else fails, just throw a towel over the mirror. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Now I know what you're thinking. Ellen, are you saying you believe in Bloody Mary? Well, let's just say I'm not taking any chances. I mean, have you seen my dance moves? I'm pretty sure I could outrun any ghost, but why risk it? So next time you're in the bathroom, maybe stick to singing in the shower. It's much safer, and who knows, you might even discover you have a hidden talent. Welcome back to the Spooky Spectacular, everybody. We're diving into Madam Koi Koi from Nigeria. She's got a fashion sense that screams, "I'm here to make a statement." Imagine the dead of night in a Nigerian boarding school. Suddenly you hear it. Click, clack, click, clack. But nobody's there. That, my friends, could be Madam Koi Koi. Legend has it she's often heard but rarely seen. And when she is seen, let's just say you might want to close your eyes. Her face is unforgettable. Some say she was a teacher who met an untimely end. Others say she was a student who roams the halls for eternity. Whatever her story, you don't want to be caught by her. Especially if you're wearing flip-flops. She might steal your shoe game. Just kidding. But seriously, folks, this spirit isn't one to mess with. So, if you find yourself in a Nigerian boarding school, maybe stick to daytime activities. And if you hear those heels clicking closer, well, maybe just close your eyes, put in some headphones, and blast that K-pop. Distract yourself. Or better yet, just pretend you're on a Zoom call. Nobody bothers you on a Zoom call, right? Now, you might be thinking, Ellen, what's with all these ghost stories? Are you trying to scare us? Maybe just a little. But really, these stories are fascinating glimpses into different cultures and their beliefs. And who knows, maybe there's a little truth to them. Or maybe it's all just for fun. Like that time I made George Clooney dress up as a banana. Good times. But back to Madam Koi Koi. In Nigerian culture, there's a strong emphasis on respecting elders and authority. Schools are seen as places of learning and discipline, so it's no surprise that a spirit embodying those themes might appear in a school setting. It's like a supernatural hall monitor making sure everyone's following the rules. And speaking of rules, here's a big one. Don't be caught wandering the halls after curfew. Especially not if you hear the click-clack of Madam Koi Koi's heels. Think of it as a supernatural detention you really don't want to be in. This is just another reminder, folks, that sometimes the best way to avoid a haunting is to just follow the rules. Get to class on time, do your homework, and for goodness sake, don't run in the hallways. Unless, of course, you're being chased by a spirit with clicking heels and a bone to pick. Then by all means, run. Alright, folks, buckle up because we're heading to the chilly peaks of Japan to meet Yuki Onna, the Snow Woman. Imagine a figure as pale as moonlight, gliding through snowdrifts, her long black hair flowing in the wind. Those piercing blue eyes could freeze your heart. Legend has it Yuki Onna is a spirit, born from souls lost in blizzards. Some say she's a heartbroken soul, others whisper she's vengeful. One thing's for sure. You don't want to cross paths with this icy queen. Now, I know what you're thinking, Ellen. How do I avoid becoming a human popsicle if I encounter this frosty friend? Well, fear not, my little snow bunnies, because I've got your survival tips right here. First things first. If you see Yuki Onna, don't show fear. She can smell fear like a bloodhound. Instead, stay strong and project confidence. Legend has it that Yuki Onna is drawn to fear and weakness. Never invite her into your home. Keep doors and windows locked tight. So there you have it, folks. Yuki Onna, the Snow Woman of Japan. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to dive into the world of Filipino folklore with the Manananggal. Now, I've seen my fair share of vampires in Hollywood, but let me tell you, this creature is unlike anything you've ever encountered. Forget sparkly skin and brooding good looks. This is one creature that definitely doesn't sparkle. Imagine, if you can stomach it, a creature that looks like a normal woman by day, but by night, oh honey, that's when things get really creepy. Under the cover of darkness, the Manananggal detaches her upper body, sprouting gigantic bat wings and leaving her legs behind. Talk about a wardrobe malfunction. But wait, there's more. Not only does she fly around with half a body, but she also has a taste for blood, specifically the blood of sleeping victims. And how does she get to her victims, you ask? Well, she uses that long, gruesome tongue of hers, which she can extend like a straw to slurp up blood from unsuspecting sleepers. How do you protect yourself from a flying vampire with a detachable torso? Don't worry, I've got you covered. The Manananggal has weaknesses you can exploit. Her detached legs are key. She must reattach before sunrise. Use salt, garlic, or ash to stop her. Sprinkle it on her legs. Keep windows shut and use a mosquito net. If you hear flapping wings, don't investigate. Just pull the covers over your head. Well, folks, there you have it. We've journeyed through the world's spookiest stories, from La Llorona to Yuki Onna and Manananggal, their origins, powers, and how to survive them. Remember the red flags and keep protective charms handy. Show respect, caution, and awareness. Whether you believe or not, a good scary story is powerful. Gather your friends, turn off the lights, and share a tale. Just don't blame me if you can't sleep afterward. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will catch you on the flip side.